They saw me and they said,
was the biscuits and gravy, because the gravy was, I always thought was too salty for me.
I love biscuits and gravy.
Did you? Yeah.
Okay.
But on days when there was oatmeal, man, that was so good.
Yeah, no one makes oatmeal.
Here we go. Yeah. Thanks, President Diana. Everybody, please join me and let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, is Linton Hale here for a songmeister? No.
But we have Rod.
Rod, could you do a song for us, please?
What do you want to sing?
Row, row.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
And Rick, do you have a thought for us?
Words to live by. One cannot go back and change the beginning, but we can face the other direction and change the ending.
Okay, oh, Nick was also our greeter. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Nick. And our mic runner today was the John Rich. Thank you, John.
That is mouthful.
Thank you very much, Jim. Also appreciate all of you do. Our raffle and newsletter has been headed up by Scott Hensey. And what did you say, Scott?
Yes, hello.
Great newsletter.
Thank you. Everybody don't forget about the raffle tickets. Over there, ready for you. Big money.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you again, Michael McLaughlin and Bob and Nick and all of you who show up for setup and take down. Really appreciate it. So remember to stay after for a little bit and help us break it down. Thank you. And now we're going to welcome our guests and visitors.
Any visiting Rotarians?
I'd like for us to welcome our guest and our speaker today, Peter Hober.
Hello, I have as my guest Dave Nagle. Dave is the president of the West Sonoma County High School Board, and he is running for re-election, and just a great guy, and he has my support. But you know, he'd love to come back and talk to us about what's going on with the high school. My opinion, things are going pretty well now, calmed down, and people have settled in. So, welcome, Dave Nagle.
President Diana, I'd like to introduce the guests at this table. From Arcata Sunrise, we have President Marty Way. Guest of the club, Mary McClary. And past District Governor Terry Clark. Yeah, oops.
Thank you.
Well, let's give a warm Sebastopol sunrise welcome to Oliver Dick. He's running for city council.
All right, thank you. Oliver, would you like to say a couple words?
Sure.
Thank you. Well, can't you with your mouth full, that's not fair.
I just swallow my toast first. I'll get a glass of water. So, morning everyone, I'm English as you can tell. I'm an English citizen, so I think maybe on. Can you hear me? Is that okay? So I'm running for City Council. Basically, there's a bunch of us have been pretty concerned about the city for the last 2 years, really, and we were hoping somebody else would stand and run, but nobody seems to want to run because it's a voluntary thing in Sebastopol. So Jill Lewis, myself, Oliver Dick, and Dennis Colthurst, who's their retired policeman, are all running for council, and we're running very closely together as a sort of a ticket, because we have very, very common goals, which are basically just back to common sense. You know, the fire service are very behind us. They're going to be walking for us this weekend. That's a mess that we're sorting out with our local fire station and service, which of course are volunteers. I've been to public works. I've talked to a lot of people who are actually running the city. I think our goals are basically just to get much more of a community spirit, which is pretty much what the Rotary is all about, and just all work together to get the city back on its feet. The other huge concern is downtown, because I'm sure everybody's seen all the stores are closing, which is partly online retail and so on, but we have to make or remake Sebastopol a destination for tourists.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We need to move on. Okay.
All right. That'll do it.
Time to move on. All right, ideas for our district governor's basket. It's coming up in October that she will be here with us. And we have some goodies already, a few homemade jams and jellies. Jennifer suggested that we put in some homemade things, so we're doing that. And we want things from our local vicinity here. I had suggested Crooked Goat beer from Scott. I think that's a great idea. And we have some wonderful authors in this club, and some books, and wives also who are authors. If you care to donate a book, sign it. I would love to put that in our basket. So start thinking about what we can have. I know it's a ways off, but we do need to fill our basket for our district governor. Thank you. Okay, happy birthday, Terry Kelly, September 24th. What are you up to?
Terry! Who's that guy? Because the name is spelled, but that's all right.
Oh,
You're not the first. You're not the first.
Okay.
That's all right. What's that? Thank you. Yeah, yesterday was the 49th anniversary of the day my wife and I met. And Saturday is her 50th high school reunion. So we'll be in Sacramento with a bunch of people I don't know on my birthday. But that's okay. So we'll do a little visiting and see some of our old friends.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's great. Thank you, Terry. And, okay, September, Joe, I hope you're on it. Patty has a birthday coming up. And membership anniversary. Brian Purcell, are you here? No? Okay, well, we have 2 members that have been with us for quite some time, and I'll be glad to see their faces here again. And guess who's been doing some pub crawling? In Ireland, Dublin, wow, and viewing some flowers. I'm glad to see you here, David, in the Zoom audience. Do you have?
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great.
Hope you learned it math in double it.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Oh, and it was a gorgeous day, Monday. Whoever did come down that pike really missed out. We had a wonderful time. Marnie, come on and tell us about this event.
Well, Gus stumped me with a question that I said Dan could answer. But I will just say that it was marvelous, the bonding and the friendship. And seeing 2 bucks with their antlers, a bunch of does, and 2 large egrets, seals on the rocks making a lot of noise, and then the pounding of the surf. It was just magnificent. Thank you, Dan, for figuring that one out. May I give, Gus, do you want to just quickly ask him the question? You said where did we go exactly?
I just wanted to know where you went. To where? 2 circles around the head. Oh, okay, around the head. Going in circles. Yep.
Good Rotarians, we walk in circles. Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We didn't know if we were going to have decent weather or not, but we showed up, and of course, all of you are welcome to come on the hikes with us on Monday mornings early. You meet at 8 o'clock. At, what is that, the, Hot Monk, yeah. Yeah, they're closed, of course, at that time. All right, and we have the main event, lobster boil, coming up. And it's going to be very important to sell tickets. We've got some great prizes. Michael has been working his tail off on this along.
Lobster tail off.
But it's lobster tail off, right. He has been working very hard, and it looks like it's going to be a great fundraiser. Have a few words for us, Michael.
I'll add a few words. Yeah, we're doing actually really well at this point. We've sold over half the tickets. We've still got a few weeks to go. And I know that a lot of you are still waiting to sell yours, so please don't wait much longer. And get your money in the jar. Auction-wise, we're doing great. We've got some fantastic auction items. I think the auction's really, really well. We're meeting with the auctioneer today at 3 o'clock to go over the menu and go over the items and get that all set up. So he's very excited about it. I think he's going to do a great job for us. Areas that we really need some help in at this point, signups. Kathy sent out the sign-up link. Please go back and dig it out of your email and go in and sign up. You know, we're a reasonably small club at this point, and this is a reasonably big project. So it's going to take all hands on deck, plus some. We need cooks. We need to have a total of 20 chefs, and that's kind of a misnomer because all you're doing is boil lobster. So it's not a hard job to do it all, but it's going to take 20 people to do it. We also are in need of propane tanks because wherever we pop, you got to have a propane tank. So we need 20 propane tanks, and we're real light on those right now. So if you would go into the sign up often, and sign up for a couple of different things. Brian? 3 tanks. That's 2.
I already signed them up.
Right. Perfect.
Bring them full.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we do have a meeting tonight for those involved in the setup and those involved in the bar. It will be at Kathy Rogers' office, which is Better Homes and Garden, which is kind of on the northeast corner.
The old railroad station.
We're down at Paulson's office used to be. And we will meet there at 5:30. So anybody involved in setup, tear down, or the bar, please show up. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Terrific job you're doing on that. All right, I'm afraid I have actually it's an emotional conflict because we have our 5130 Foundation celebration on the same day as our Lobster Feast. And as president, I feel that I must go to that. It's from 3 to 6:30. I am actually looking forward to it. So I'll see if I can cut out just a little early, and I will show up at least for cleanup at the Lobster Feast. It is, I can't say enough about foundation. That is something that's very close to my heart. We are going to be having tickets sent to us from the district, I understand, for the people that have made direct donations to the Rotary Foundation through September 30th. And after that, if you want to make a donation before October 8th, I will be more than happy to get the tickets for you. But thank you very much. Rotary Foundation does so much world good that it really is part of my heart. But thank you very much. Okay, Ukrainian Family Fund concert. That is on the 24th. At the middle school theater in Romer Park. Another good thing that our club could participate in. Thank you. And we have the celebration. Let's try it without this and see if it works better. We are going to have the celebration for Bruce's passing. He was a fantastic Rotarian, and he was one of the people that started this club and one of the greatest Rotarians in our group. He is just terrific, was just terrific. I have managed with Linda and Jim's help to get all of these things on our club calendar, and there is a link there that you can click on if you are planning to go to the celebration at Sally's Tomatoes on October 16th. We all miss Bruce. Of course, I miss Bruce and Helene both being far away from us. They are wonderful people, or were and are wonderful people. I'm sorry, I get a little choked up here. But I am looking forward to seeing Helene, and I'm sure all of you who know her are also. Thank you. Okay, I received this whole list of things that our club and anyone you want to invite along can participate in. Dan, would you like to say a few words about our active community service group?
So we have a bunch of opportunities to do some hands-on work on the third Saturday of each month. So if you want to put in your calendar a repeating appointment for the third Saturday, we're going to rotate through cleaning up High School Road, the road cleanup section we adopted under Louis Hopper. We also are responsible for a couple of the traffic triangle landscaping areas, your Screaming Meanies, and then the one just a little bit south of there. And then we're also have been doing some effort with the post office and keeping that looking nice, because that is one of our prominent public buildings and face of our community to people as they drive down Main Street. So once a month, we're gonna get a bunch of hands and spend a few hours cleaning up these things. So please put it on your calendar, and we will also invite other clubs. We'll invite Interact, invite your friends. The more people we have, the lighter the load will be, and we'll beautify our community. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some of our friends from the Service and Action Coalition, also the other volunteer groups in our area. Thank you very much for all you do, Dan. Any announcements from our club? We have one from Bob.
I just want to give you a quick update about the Interact Club over at Annalee. It's met twice. We were up to 25 members so far. It hasn't even hit club day yet, so I kind of predict that we'll probably have about 40 kids in the club. We got two co-presidents who are coming back from last year. They're very interested in our work days, and so it's great to be there. And afternoon club is involved more so this year too. So the sky's the limit.
Okay, great, thanks, Bob. Yeah, and, you have an announcement here.
I just forgot one thing. I wanted to acknowledge Mary. Mary is not even a member yet, and she sold 4 tickets to the lobster. Good job.
Fantastic. That is great, very good.
I just wanted to say that I attended the barbecue on the weekend that the Sebastopol Rotary Club put on. It was very nice. Mario put on a very nice feed. They barbecued chicken. Had a chance to sit with Jerry and talk to him at the same table. So we had several members there, and it was very, very good. And I did have a very careful two margaritas, but drove home safely.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm so glad you were able to attend that and that we had members going. Thank you so much. Okay, more coming events. The Ukrainian Family Fun Concert, which I have mentioned. Volunteers for the Redwood Empire Food Bank. Go to our calendar, sign up. It's a great experience, and it really does help our community. We have of course, the District 5130 Foundation celebration, and I can't say enough about the Maine lobster boil. We are really looking forward to that. And again, Bruce Campbell's celebration of life, and District Governor Jennifer Strong will be here in October visiting our club, and I'm really looking forward to that. She is just so dynamic and such a involved person. She's talking about flying in on her airplane if she can get a new engine. We'll see what happens. But lots of fun coming up. Thank you. All right, attitude of gratitude. Do we have anything to say? Let's say here. I know we're getting close on time, so I think I'll just move on. Thank you.
Diane, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
When Jennifer comes to visit, I saw it was Tuesday night. Are we having a reception, a board meeting? What's the deal?
She wants to, I'm going to call and talk to her,
Okay.
because they're doing something a little different. She wants it a bit different than usual. Normally we have a board meeting. She doesn't want to attend a board meeting. And I've been debating that. I have been thinking, I'm going to invite her to spend the night at my house. She said she wanted to stay with a Rotarian. And I thought of just having the board, if she doesn't want all the guests, and we don't have a lot of people, I'll just have the board possibly over to my house where she'll be staying anyway. She wants to meet at 7 o'clock, and that's kind of after dinner for some people. So I really need to get clarification on her expectations and how she wants to run it. This is her show.
Tuesday night, we'll save the day.
Okay, thank you so much for asking the question, though. I think the club needs to know those things. Okay, we have a TBA here. We will work this one out. Charlie's working on it for next week. And this week, Peter. Dan, would you care to introduce Peter?
So it's my pleasure and honor to introduce my friend and all of our fellow Rotarian, Peter Hober. Peter and I worked together for many years, a couple of decades at Hewlett Packard and Technologies. And one time we were on a business trip and said, Dan, tell me about this Rotary thing you do. And that led to a few other things. So he's also joined our morning hiking group. Peter has a couple degrees in engineering from a top area school. And he has also worked in the environmental field at Solmetric here in town and Enphase in Petaluma. He's been very involved in climate concerns and climate restoration. Most recently, he lives in Santa Rosa with his lovely wife Molly. He has 4 grown children. And he's going to talk to us today about something very hopeful that is very doable to protect our future and our future generations' well-being. So, Peter, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, and good evening.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you all for having me. It's really nice to be at this club again. I've been before and haven't been for a while, and it's a lot of good energy here. So I really appreciate you having me. And I'm going to start the presentation with a little bit of a downer, but I promise it's going to come back later. So I first learned about the issue of climate change when I was a freshman in college, which was 1978. I had a class that the professor was very concerned about this issue. It was a class in environmental science, and but so it registered. But I went on with my life, and got a job, and kind of put that in the back of my mind. And more recently, it's come back to the forefront of my mind. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and what I'm doing and what I've learned and why I'm getting a little more hopeful than I have been in the past. So I'm going to talk a little bit through the climate situation, what we can do about what we can do about global warming and climate change. I'm going to talk about the topic of carbon dioxide removal. And then some ideas for taking action. So you probably know that most of the world is experiencing extreme heat, fires, floods, droughts, etc. One that really hit me recently was the situation in Pakistan, where 30 million people were displaced from their homes. That's the population of California-ish. We lost 5,000 homes in the Tubbs fire. They lost 1 million homes due to the floods. It's just mind-boggling. Now you might say, well, that flood might have happened anyway without the effects of climate change. Possibly, but it would have been a lot less likely and probably a lot less severe. Other effects of climate change, which you probably know of: destruction of the coral reefs, melting sea ice, which will cause increasing water levels and flooding. And this is the one that really hit home for me, and I'm sure a lot of you as well, is the Tubbs fire in 2017. And I was very fortunate. Our home was not damaged. But 3 doors in one direction, there was a home lost. 3 doors in the other direction, there were about 24 homes lost. When your neighborhood looks like this, you really start to wonder, like, what the heck? What's going on? Is this climate change really coming home to roost? So this kind of feeling of what the heck, as an engineer, I'm turning that to, what about, I better learn some things here and see what we could maybe do about it, or what's going on in the world to address it. So I'm going to start with some numbers. So the first number is 1,000. And there's only 3 numbers, so you don't have to worry too much if you're not numerically inclined. 1,000 is about the number of gigatons of excess carbon dioxide that humanity has put into the atmosphere. Okay? You can think of the atmosphere as a thin layer like the eggshell around the egg, and that layer has been added 1,000 gigatons of carbon dioxide. Well, so what? How much is a gigaton anyway? Is that a lot? So a gigaton is about the amount of emissions from the US vehicle fleet in 2017. Okay, that's a lot. But remember, there's 1,000 gigatons of excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Sometimes we think of carbon dioxide as it's light and airy because it's a gas. It doesn't really weigh anything, does it? Well, if you put a gigaton into something more, say, concrete, or in this case, steel, how many Golden Gate bridges would a gigaton be? It'd be about 1,200 Golden Gate bridges. So it gives you a feel for the scope. We've got 1,000 times 1,200 Golden Gate bridges worth of excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That's a lot. Now, as I mentioned, the atmosphere is this thin layer that we're putting in. So how big is the atmosphere, and what's happening to the concentration? Because the concentration of carbon dioxide is what's important. Well, we keep dumping carbon dioxide in. The Earth has systems like the ocean and the trees that can sort of sequester carbon or take the carbon dioxide back out. But this drain, if you will, is operating much more slowly than the faucet. We got that faucet turned on pretty good.
Climate restoration.
1,000 gigatons. What we're doing is we're talking about, we're putting about 50 gigatons in every year, additional 50 gigatons, and that number is growing. Another number is 420. So this is giving you a little bit more feel of what's the concentration. This is the concentration in parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere now. It goes up a couple of parts per million every year with the current situation. So what? Could be worse. Does that matter? I don't smell anything different. Well, this is 800,000 years worth of data. Scientists can go back and look at what the carbon dioxide levels have done for the last 800,000 years. It's hard to see here, but you can see it goes up and down. This is 200. Up to 300 was about the maximum in that 800,000 years. And here is before the industrial age, and that's today. That little dot up there is today. People say, well, it's all natural, we don't, it's natural cycles, it's El Nino, it's whatever. But this graph really brings home, no, it's the industrial age, and we've really added a lot of carbon dioxide. 1.5 is the last number. 1.5 is the number of degrees Celsius that is kind of recommended by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change as kind of the maximum level that we want to go. If you get more than 1.5 degrees C, you're kind of playing with more dramatic and more deadly problems. So to avoid the most catastrophic impacts, we want to keep that number below 1.5 degrees C. It's about 1.1 degrees C now that we've done already, that we've warmed the planet. And so 1.5, we're like going up, increasing, everything's increasing. We got to steer it to come to level that off. And that's the challenge over the next few decades. This graph shows the IPCC, again, International Panel for Climate Change, different scenarios. Here's where we are now, and here's what we get to choose. And this graph is interesting, not because of the numbers, but we get to choose. Humanity gets to choose. There's no more, we don't understand this. You can't get away with that anymore. We understand this. And we know what we have to do to be able to choose our future. Which future do we want? One that scientists tell us is going to be catastrophic, or one that's going to be really catastrophic? And so this is to me like, which A, B, or C? You get to choose. In the meantime, there's things we know that we have to do, and we know how. We've got to reduce the amount of emissions at 50 gigatons a year. We have to get that down. We have to decarbonize. We have to get off of fossil fuels. That's kind of where you hear a lot of energy, where there's a lot of people already working, and it's not really the main topic that I'm covering today, but it is obviously very important. Adaptation, so the ravages of things, helping those poor people in Pakistan or wherever the effects of climate change are happening, and preparing, being able to prepare for disasters that we know are going to be more likely, and being able to for example, along coastlines to adapt people and get people out of the harm's way before the floods come. And then there's this third thing, which is carbon dioxide removal, working on that existing 1,000 gigatons and trying to get that addressed as well. One of the IPCC reports, each year, is addressing carbon dioxide removal more and more. And this is a quote from the 2018 one. All pathways to limit warming must have carbon dioxide removal. To limit warming to 1.5 degrees C, require carbon dioxide removal. Unless affordable and environmentally and socially acceptable CDR, carbon dioxide removal, becomes feasible and available at scale well before 2050, pathways to 1.5 degrees C will become difficult to realize. So this large panel of scientists is coming to a conclusion that carbon dioxide removal has to be part of the plan. So what's carbon dioxide removal? So I'm going to go through a few of the definitions and the conventions of wording that are used. Carbon dioxide removal are activities that remove, human activities that remove CO2 from the atmosphere and durably store it in geological, terrestrial, or ocean reservoirs, or in products. I'll get back to that in a few minutes. By the way, the author here, Jennifer Wilcox, is now the head of the Office of Fossil Energy and Carbon Management. And FECM is an office within the Department of Energy. And they just got authorization from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, I believe, to get an additional $1 billion of funding over the next 4 years. Jennifer Wilcox, I believe, is going to be the person who is instrumental in helping the United States form the strategy for addressing carbon dioxide. So back to the terms. Carbon dioxide removal, CDR. There's also a term called greenhouse gas removal, which is more general because there are other greenhouse gases besides carbon dioxide. For example, methane is one that people are generally pretty familiar with, and nitrous oxides and some of the chlorofluorocarbons. But generally, CDR and GGR are being used interchangeably, but there is a difference. There's another term that people have used, it's called negative emissions technology, which is, again, reducing the level of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases. But technology in this term is maybe a misnomer, since in a lot of cases you're letting nature or enhancing nature's way of doing it. So technology is generally not the term that we want to use. But these things are all, whether you use net or GGR or CDR, you're talking about carbon removal and climate restoration. How can we get the climate back to much closer to it was before the industrial age? One other definitional thing is what CDR is not. CDR is different from what they call carbon capture and sequestration, which is generally from a power plant or from an industrial facility, from the smokestack where there's a large amount of carbon dioxide that's being kind of funneled off and processed and removed from the smokestack. That's a different sort of thing, because that's generally easier to do and is generally associated with the fossil fuel industry that sort of has got us into the issues. Is it a good idea? Yeah, it's a great idea. But CCS means that at the same time you're removing carbon, you're also relying on those things that are continuing to generate carbon dioxide. There are a lot of solutions to carbon dioxide removal, and there's a lot of energy going on into these solutions. I put them into two main categories. There's land-based and ocean-based solutions to getting carbon dioxide out. As I mentioned earlier, nature already does this. The oceans sequester a tremendous amount of carbon, and the forests and nature in general also sequesters a tremendous amount of carbon. But they're reaching some limits, and obviously they're not sequestering all the carbon that we're emitting. Here's a summary of some of the techniques that can be used for removing carbon dioxide. There's natural sinks, forests, soil, peat, mangroves, and there's forestation and afforestation and reforestation that you can do to enhance nature's ability. But what I've learned is that forests alone don't have the capacity to do enough to remove to make the biggest dent, to make the dent into that carbon dioxide that we need to make. So there's other techniques using biochar, bio-oil, Vickers and Becks, algae sinking. These are energy creation with carbon capture and storage. Algae sinking, which is you figure out how to grow algae and let it sink to the bottom of the ocean and take a bunch of carbon with it. There's a bunch of mineral capabilities where if you're tricky, you can make calcium carbonate or limestone, and so that can pull the carbon straight out of the atmosphere. Enhanced rock weathering is the term for that. And what's happening is a lot of the mines are looking at ways to take the mine tailings and actually use them as carbon capture. The mine tailings, the bad stuff from mining, can actually be used to capture carbon, which is exciting. And direct air capture, or DAC, is another term that you often hear. So these are all this is a partial list of ways people are thinking about the problem, or ways people are doing. I want to talk a little bit about all the energy going into these things, which is somewhat exciting. Here's a project that has been going for many years. It's in Iceland, and it's a direct air capture system. It's like a power plant. In this case, it's using renewable energy. These things are all fans. They take it through a thing called a sorbent, which gathers up the carbon dioxide and then figure out a way to take that carbon dioxide and sequester it geologically. So Iceland is unique in that it can accommodate this using renewable energy, but it's a great demonstration that it can be done. This is nowhere near the scale we need to get. The kind of thing that people are saying is every serious technology that you want to propose to this problem has to be something that can take care of a gigaton or so of carbon dioxide. So remember, 1,000 gigatons is what we're trying to address. And this project hasn't gotten anywhere near a gigaton yet, but it has demonstrated some important parts of the technology. So zooming out one more time is climate change is a big issue. We need a lot of work to reduce what we're putting into the atmosphere. We need to adapt to the problems that are already happening, and we need to remove some significant amount of carbon dioxide as much as we can. Let's look at it in the positive light, which is the opportunity, and what's kind of the gold, the nugget. Or in the case of this 1967 film, The Graduate, you remember? Plastics, yeah. So I've adapted that to 2 words, climate restoration. Are you listening? All over the world, top universities are putting a tremendous amount of effort into all 3 of the strategies, but especially the carbon dioxide removal. It's a fascinating topic. It's deep in engineering, science, technology, and math. So everywhere has a climate program now. You want to address the anxiety, climate anxiety that people are having now? That young people are having serious problems with climate anxiety? Give them an avenue to study and solve the problem. Climate tech is a big buzzword now, and I want to just point out that there are over 50 companies working on the DAC, the direct air capture, alone. And there are all these startups that are diving into this space. And again, they have to prove to their investors that there's a serious amount of carbon dioxide removal that they can do on a gigaton scale. There's an Ocean Visions organization that's coordinating some of the approaches to ocean-based CDR. There are various organizations that are funding in advance future carbon dioxide removal. This organization called Frontier has a bunch of leading companies, and they're paying people. They're investing billions of dollars into this. And then there's various startup funds in addition. The government sees this as a big opportunity as well, offering tax credits and programs. New York has a law called the Carbon Dioxide Removal Leadership Act, which is also being proposed at the federal level, and in addition, in California as well. So what about Rotary? What can Rotary do? I've been struggling with this because I've been looking into this whole topic, and I've been looking at what Rotary is doing, and it doesn't jump out as clear to me, but I got some ideas. I'd love to hear your ideas. Some things that, there's one thing called the Rotary Climate Action Team Network. So encouraging people to create their own teams, but it's kind of a roll your own. You figure it out. We'll give you some guidance, but roll your own. The other thing is capturing some of the energy of youth. For example, there's a really great course on climate restoration, which is being proposed for high schools, and I'd love to be able to look at whether Rotary could integrate that. Other things are more technology-based. There's a technology that, for example, that takes waste from agriculture, from farms, generally small farms, and uses a process called pyrolysis, which I don't understand, but I think there's somebody in the audience who might understand, to create biochar, which can then be used as a fertilizer, reducing the need for fertilizer, nitrous-based fertilizers, and making their crops or their whole farm more profitable. So, and I mentioned the Interact clubs. I didn't mention, but Interact clubs are also very interested. I'm getting a hook here, I can tell. So.
You sure are. I could listen to you forever. This is fantastic. But I'll let you finish, and we'll have questions afterward.
Great. So what can you do? These are some ideas. I would like to propose. I've been volunteering with an organization called the Open Air Collective, which is an advocacy and research organization looking at carbon dioxide removal specifically. There's a Citizens Climate Lobby where activists are proposing things across the U.S. for legislation. And then there's a Foundation for Climate Restoration. And then I just think that what we need to do is, as Rotarians, we need to be educating ourselves and being open to organizing our projects around what effects it will have on the climate, and being leaders in this area. And I don't know how it's all going to come out, or what the role of Rotary really is, but it feels like there's some energy there, and that as Rotarians, I'd like to be able to step up to the plate and address what I see as a major challenge in the next century. So thank you very much.
That was just great. Thank you very much. I want to give you from us for being our speaker. I couldn't be more impressed. That was really great. And will you please stay afterwards and answer questions some people may have? Just wonderful. I just want to mention while I'm up here, our avenue of service with climate. You can give to the Rotary Foundation, and you can designate where you want that money to go. You can say, I want my money to work on the solutions for climate change. Thank you. All right, I have a drawing coming up.
No running, Scott. Okay, guys, get ready, it's very exciting. Not too late to buy your tickets. Yes, it is. It's too late. Okay. In my lap.
$77.
You did it, did you? Okay. Do we have a winner today?
Not many marbles left.
Yeah, there's one red one in there, and the winner will get the pot.
$77.
How much?
$77.
Oh,
man.
Okay, it's getting up there.
There, they'll buy some beers. Hey, the winning number is 35. 30.
Hey, Dan, terrific.
Rich get richer.
Welcome back, Dan.
I'm one off.
You're not getting that red marble.
No.
Well, here you go. Maybe you'll get something out of that one. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, Bob, do you have a joke for us?
This isn't really a joke, it's a little bit financial advice. If you use your stimulus check to buy baby chicks, then you got the money for nothing.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. And we're starting, whoops, I can't lift it, getting stuff in our basket. So remember, we need to fill our basket. Thank you so much. And we are, where in the heck is our bill? I say my bill, but it's the club's bill. It is getting a little old, this poor little thing. Happy trails.
Trails to you, till we meet again.
Christmas.